Good afternoon. My name is Mark Davian, and I'm one of the organizers of the Midwest Agile Community Meetup Group. We formed last year with two simple goals. First, to bring Agilists together on a regular basis, and second, to showcase companies practicing Agile in the Midwest. At our March meetup hosted by Redbox near Chicago, Agile champion Bo English from Best Buy somewhat jokingly offered to host one of our next meetings at their headquarters, which is located in Richfield, Minnesota. Someone at the meeting shouted out, "Road trip!" and the seeds of an adventure had been planted. An unforgettable event idea was born. When was the last time one of your local networking communities adventured to extremes to listen and share Agile stories? In his book, The Black Swan, author Nassim Nicholas Taleb describes the black swan as a highly improbable event that produces surprising, unpredictable, and unforeseen results. These results are really only fully known with the luxury of 20/20 hindsight. This is a story looking back in the rearview mirror of our Agile road trip about a group of people that traveled an improbable 892 miles round trip to experience Agile learning. Across 3 states, in just under 8 hours one way, we discovered 2 surprises. 1, sometimes you need to go far from your impediment sources to know where you need to change. And 2, that great results can happen if you take your meetings to where the thought leaders are. With our Midwest hashtag painted on our van and the Wi-Fi turned on, ready for road blogging, we headed west with lots of questions. This wound up being the longest continuous open jam session we've ever done. But the ideas just kept on coming, and the sharing never stopped. We covered everything from Agile and music to things my boss asked me to investigate to the different Agile methods we used. We examined lots of different kinds of issues and shared the wildest, most fun retro idea we've ever tried. While not crazy on the overall extreme scale, the impact to the 9 once almost strangers in the van was huge. On day 2, we were treated to a guided tour by our host site. Best Buy has their company history artfully displayed throughout the main people hallway, and it was clear to see how far they've come and the direction that they hope to go. I'm a huge fan of giving and taking tours of Agile spaces, and here's why. Because it helps you to really examine the culture of a company. If you want to know your Agile culture, look to your work areas through the eyes of others. Best Buy has incredible fun spaces, a must-see theater, and simply put, one of the most beautiful campuses you could ever want to visit. Messages and signs everywhere demonstrate a very positive blue vibe. After the tour, Bo English led us through Best Buy's Agile framework, and we had a very lively discussion on some of the challenges that we share along with them. This started us into jam session number 2, about how our own company challenges were similar to those of Best Buy's. We discussed team issues, management roles in Agile, cross-team challenges, scaling Agile, and how to find a balance between vertical and horizontal delivery. It felt like we were building a backlog of Agile problems, and it was time for a break. Einstein says that creativity happens when intelligence meets fun. During the breaks, we led sessions that included songs and games intended to stimulate the right and the left brain. We knew we were on the right track when someone in the room next door asked us to quiet down our bongo playing. After peer sharing and games, it was time for guest speakers. Drive to Minnesota and they will come. Who knew that they all lived there? Esther Durbin spoke first and helped us better understand how outside influences impacted self-organizing teams. One of the main takeaways was how much actions matter over words. And she discussed how to find the correct balance between learning and delivery. Then Esther led us in a self-organizing team exercise that taught us the importance of finding the balance between rules, roles, and team effectiveness. Esther is an incredible thought leader, and she will be speaking on Thursday at the conference here on the language of change. I would encourage you all to go check that out as well. Our second topic was a great discussion led by Deb Jan's Dion Stewart on how to scale your Agile teams. This topic directly related to the challenges we're facing and discussing on our trip with Best Buy. Dion demonstrated how story mapping helps foster cross-team interactions and improves your user story communication. The last event before we headed home was an open space. An open space led by David Hudson. We were very glad and lucky to have him participate. And we examined Dude's Law and what happens as part of this. Basically, when you stress the how, simply put, your value decreases when you overstress the how. And you may not be as agile as you think you are. David finished our meeting with a fishbowl jam session. Those in the fishbowl chairs could talk. Others could join in by sitting in an open chair, and everyone else could only vote their approval or their disapproval with red and green cards to help shape and direct the conversation based on the backlog that we'd already built up over the course of the 2 days. This was a great way to close out our 2-day meetup adventure, and it helped us wrap it all up in a positive way. How many people help you plan your networking events? For me, the things that made this event so unexpectedly powerful were the planning sessions and collaborations we did with Bo Eames from Best Buy and Len Legacy from Illustrated Agile. Never underestimate the value of bringing in 3 people together in a triad to produce great results. The 12th Agile principle says we should regularly inspect and adapt. I own a very nice piano, and when I play it, it sounds pretty good. But when I bring a piano tuner in, and he tunes each one of those strings individually, when I hit that first chord, it sounds like a different instrument. This is the power of inspecting and adapting your Agile processes for yourself and for your teams. Here are my trip souvenirs. Be surprised. Do a road trip and ask big questions. Dive deeper. Give a tour and discover your culture. Go to the coaches. Travel to them and learn. And finally, tune up. Inspect and adapt your teams. This all came together with the help of a lot of individuals. But these 6 people up on the screen really helped make the event larger than the sum of its parts. All but Len Legacy are here this week, and I would encourage you to seek them out and contact them if you want more details on their presentations. And feel free to contact me at any time during or after the conference. Finally, the majority of this trip was done without cost to our group, through generous support of the following companies, many of which are represented here at this expo. We couldn't have done it without them. For more details on our Midwest Agile Meetup, and for all the pictures and presentations, visit our Meetup page. Hit the open road for an Agile Meetup, and you can expect the unexpected. Thank you.